इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हर तरफ जुल्म है, बेबसी है, सहमा सहमा सा हर आदमी है। पाप का बोझ बढ़ता ही जाए, जाने कैसे ये धरती थमी है। बोझ ममता का तू ये उठा ले, तेरी रचना का ये अंत होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना।
Shanti, Sister Jayanti,
Om Shanti.
and welcome to everyone. So just wanted to say that when Sister Mohini first met Brahma Baba, then she was saying that externally his appearance was very simple, but of course he was very royal, as we can see in the picture behind you. And very dignified and a lot of humility. But one of the things she also emphasized is that you got this feeling from him of a deep sense of contentment. Said that she had not experienced this from other sages, other gurus, as deeply as she had experienced this from Brahma Baba. And we can see, right, gentlemen, I'm sure you will talk about it too, but you know, the fact that Brahma Baba says, you know, I don't want to live in the new houses, the new buildings are for the children, or when your mother took the sweater that she knitted for Brahma Baba in the winter, and even that he gave away, and he said, you know, I don't need it, it's for the children. So all this is very much a sign of his deep contentment. And then the final thing I wanted to say is that Santoshima, the goddess, one of the goddesses that we worship during the 9 nights, the goddess of contentment, she is actually only given chana, chickpeas, and some gur, and she's just happy. All right, gur is molasses and chickpeas, and she's just very content. So anyway, we'll discuss this. We'll explore contentment, gentlemen, after. But I'll leave it to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Om Shanti to everyone. I've noticed how through many of the Avyakt Muralis, the thread of contentment comes across very powerfully. And that's been happening for a long time. And so it was a joy to read the detail of contentment that Baba spoke about yesterday. And Baba was happy seeing his contented children. And then, of course, Baba saying that contentment is the personality of purity for Brahmins. In the Lokik world out there, one type of personality is the personality of the body. And so maybe somebody is big and strong, or somebody is very beautiful. So that's their personality, and that's remarkable. And the second type of personality is that of position. But of course, today, there can't be a position forever. However hard you work to attain a position, you don't know how long you're going to keep it and at what time the chair is going to be pulled away from you and you're going to come crashing down. But with the contentment of purity of personality, the comment that personality is such that it sparkles through your face, it sparkles through your eyes, and it's something, of course, of the inner beauty, nothing of the external. And the basis for this inner state of contentment is that as soon as you come to Baba, Baba is able to give you everything. Baba gives you all the virtues, Baba gives you all the powers, and Baba gives you complete knowledge. And so there's nothing that remains. Yes, effort is made, but as soon as the child is born and is the heir to the parents' property, all of this becomes available. Baba doesn't say to anyone, half is for you and half is for somebody else. Baba doesn't say, I'll give you 2 virtues and I'll give you another 2 virtues and distribute them in that way. No, everyone has a right to all the virtues, all the powers, and the complete knowledge. And then it's up to each soul to be able to take from Baba whatever it is they choose and to be able to fill themselves with that and keep it with themselves and use it in their life. And so the definition of the purity of the personality of contentment was very, very lovely in the way Baba explained it. And of course, it's the year of Tapasya. And so in most Muralis, we've been hearing Baba comment about the year of Tapasya and different interpretations and details about that Tapasya. And so in this case, Baba was saying that what is Tapasya? The proof of your Tapasya is you and what is shining in your forehead. Is there the jewel of contentment shining there? What is shining through your eyes? Is it again the light of contentment that is shining? What is your behavior? What are your qualities? How do you interact with others? All of that will be the visible fruit of your tapasya. And so yoga is the method, but the results that you get from yoga are the beautiful experiences of what you see in practical life. And so, yes, you have 4 hours of yoga. That's very good. And if you have the aim of 8 hours of yoga, that's wonderful. But that's the method. What are the results? And so Baba explained very clearly the results of yoga. And Baba saying, check yourself in terms of 3 different ways. And we're used to Baba talking about contentment with the self, with others, with Baba, with drama. But this time it was very different. Baba really wanting us to explore what is going on inside. First question to ask myself, am I content with myself in terms of the quality of my effort? Am I content with myself in terms of the transformation of my sanskars? Am I content with myself in terms of how I deal with others? And so check all of these three things, three aspects within the second question. And then all of that is related to service. And then the third aspect, to what extent are others content with me in terms of relationships and connections? And so this will be the fruit of the tapasya that you're experiencing as you see the soul go through these various stages. The two Hindi words, most of you know them, vidhi, method, and siddhi, the results, the success, the fruit. And then Baba spoke about how don't cheat yourself and say, well, I'm not worried about anything, I'm fine. But is that with the intellect or is it with the heart? And also, is it with the chit? Is there such contentment that the memory of everything is just a memory of great love and joy and contentment and nothing else whatsoever? And that will be the proof that, yes, truly, there is contentment. Otherwise, if you say, well, I'm fine, I'm content, it doesn't matter what others think of me. And Baba's saying, no, that's not right. That's not real contentment. That's ego, it's arrogance. And so really, if I am content with myself, then others will definitely be content with me if I'm on the right track. And then Baba also pointing out how in Bhakti, there is the memorial of Shankar. And when Shankar opens his third eye, then there's destruction, there's transformation. And so your tapasya is then remembered as Shankar seated in meditation and opening his third eye. And so the opening of the third eye is when you have reached your stage of completion and perfection. And Baba made a link with various things. First stage, reveal yourself to yourself and be content, sort out whatever it is that needs sorting out. Secondly, reveal your inner stage of contentment through your interaction with others so that others are able to see and take benefit and learn. And then you'll be able to also be revealed on the world stage. You will be revealing Baba. And with the third eye open, it's then said, everything will come into upheaval and there will be the dance of all the elements, the upheaval of all the elements. And drama and nature are waiting for you. Baba's mentioned that nature is waiting for us in the last 3 Muralis. And in that case, Baba's saying, what does it mean to be able to open the third eye? It means that you've come to the stage where all your inner senses and external organs are all obedient and ready to listen to your orders. If you haven't yet learned to be in charge, be the master of your organs and your inner faculties, then how can you be able to order nature and expect all the elements of the world to obey? And within the tapasya, Baba had also mentioned that, do you still have the power to be able to stop your thoughts and understand whatever is drama is right? Or do you have the capacity in which whatever is the expansion, you put a dot, a full stop, and merge all the expansion into the essence? And so that's putting the full stop, the dot. Don't ask the question how, don't ask the question why, don't ask the question what, but just know that at this moment, whatever is happening is the drama, and so is right. And what I need to do is just simply put the full stop. And when I put the full stop, yes, my inner faculties are obeying me and not pulling me or running off with me, but they're actually being obedient. I say full stop and they respond. And so when I have learned to be able to be the master of all my inner faculties, then yes, nature will also learn to be obedient. But Baba gave us a very interesting challenge. Baba said, you already use the method of having yoga collectively for world peace. And so you sit together and hold that same thought that we're giving peace to the world. And yet, when are you going to be able to everyone sit together with that firm power and determined thought, let there be transformation? And if there are some people who say to Baba, Baba, I'm not ready yet. I have to do this, 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 and this, and this. Somebody else says to Baba, Baba, I'm not ready yet. I haven't done enough yoga. I haven't had enough gyan. I haven't had enough. And so whatever the causes we give to Baba, there comes a point when those excuses are no longer valid. And time has gone by. And so now truly it is the time to just be in tapasya and give to others whatever it is they need from you. And so when we hold the collective thought of transformation, then yes, there will be the dance of the elements, the dance of nature that can bring about peace on earth. Because the elements then come back to a state of purity, a state of peace and stability, and everybody also is in that state, having come from up above. And so we then witness the new cycle, the new experience. And Baba summed up in 3 words the whole subject of how to serve through thoughts, words, and actions. Firstly, let the mind be powerful. 2, let your words be knowledgeful. And thirdly, let your interaction with others be one of love, loveful. And if I'm paying attention to thoughts, words, and actions, then there's an immediate impact on everyone else around me who knows me. And so when they see that transformation in my personality, then yes, they know that this is something different to everything else. And so the story of Shankar, the story of purification, the story of being able to achieve the highest stage, claim the full inheritance from the father. And then Baba was addressing the double foreigners and telling them how much he loves them. And of course, he's also seeing Bharatvasis and telling them, well, Baba loves you so much that Baba came in the land of Bharat. And so Baba knows how to please everyone. And then Baba reminding the double foreigners that, yes, you can come to Madhuban, you can actually come and live in Madhuban, but only when you have completed the task abroad, when everyone has been given the message of who is God and where the home is, how to go home. That's essentially the message. Then as a result of that message, yes, many will come and find their way home, find their way to Baba. So when we've completed our task externally, but also if we have completed our task internally, then all the upheaval will start, and truly everybody will know that there is one God, and the name of that God is Shiva. And so I'm looking forward to that moment when the world recognizes God, that truly this is the work of God. These are the versions of God. And I know that that will be a very powerful and beautiful moment for all of us to enjoy. I'm seeing how even in this phase of Zoom, so many powerful, beautiful initiatives were started, and many of them are still around. Some have gone through slight changes and variations. But today, Baba in Murli on Tapasya, reminding us that we have a responsibility to our brothers and sisters. We should be able to show them the path back home. So very powerful, very loving Murli, and contentment. Really fill yourself to your content from Baba, and who knows what the next scene of drama will hold. But at least I'll then be able to carry all those awareness and images and feelings in my heart. And I know that victory is ahead for all of us. So when I first heard this comment, well, is there any churning is there any reflection on the title? The whole subject of actually being able to give contentment to all. And my heart says, yes, I have to be content, be full, and not need anything from any human being. Then I can be the one who can also give contentment to others. So powerful Murli, a Murli to apply in action again. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Jentiben. So, Jentiben, there's always this question of contentment, and quite a few have asked me this question on their spiritual journey, especially when one has a very comfortable and very lavish lifestyle, and they feel that they have to play the part by, you know, having the nice house and having the good clothes and having a good car, especially the region that I was that I was in, and so they have this kind of guilty complex, because on the one hand they claim to be content, but on the other hand they struggle with having to keep up with the Joneses. And so I've always given them the answer, well, you have to be at peace with what you do. So if you have to go and buy the expensive clothes, buy them, but then be at peace with it and balance it with Baba's seva. So what would you say, Jentiben? Because it's not that they're not content, they are content. But, well, I think they're content, but how to overcome this guilt complex?
I would put it a little bit differently. I would say don't aim to be a fashion model. Aim to be at par with others, but in a simpler, a more modest way. And people who are close to you, you can explain to and say that I'm not really into these external things anymore. I'd rather use my assets, my resources to serve humanity differently. And so, yes, I need to keep up a certain standard, but I don't need to be in the top 10. And so can I make that my baseline? Yes, I'm going to keep a certain standard because I have the means to do that, but I'm not going to aim for the top so that heads turn when I enter the room to see my jewelry or anything like that. So I think that you can create that stage in which people respect you and love you and understand what you're doing. And I think that would work fine. Then you're not aiming to be in competition with your neighbor or anything like that. You're content with what you have. But also, Baba's emphasis today, your faith should be able to show the contentment that lies within. And this is why Baba was saying that, yes, first you feel content and your neighbors and your friends, but also anyone else who comes should also pick that up, that it's not a path of poverty. It's not a path of punishment for the self, but it is the middle path. Not too high, definitely not too low, but just to feel comfortable in whatever it is I do. Does that make sense?
Yes, gentlemen. And maybe the second question, maybe you kind of answered it, but how much is enough, gentlemen? How much is enough? And I'm not even thinking of their dresses or their shoes or their bags. I'm thinking of even like the dadis when they went on seva. So Dadi Janki just took 2 saris. But then what is the fine balance between being practical and having enough? I mean, have you dealt with this yourself? I mean, can you share something about your story as well as maybe answering the question of what is
well, let me go right back to the beginning when I surrendered. And at that time, I was so happy just to have white saris. It was such a liberation from having to think about choosing something different. What did I wear last time? Do I have to repeat it again today? That was such a drain on my intellect. And so it started in that way. And today, where I'm at now, people say, what would you like? What would you like? And I genuinely say to them, I have everything. There's nothing that I need. And so some people then get it and then they say, okay, rather than get you things, let me give you something for Baba's box. And so they begin to understand that genuinely you're not putting them off or being shy or anything, but truly you do have everything. What more is there that you need? And if then you do need something, surely it'll happen. You can talk to somebody about it if there is a need, and it'll manifest very quickly. So I think there comes a point where you are content and you don't need anything more. You know that to accumulate is just filling up your cupboards more and more, and that's not what is useful at this moment in the Kalpa. So I think it's a very personal thing in how you deal with it. And you say, enough. I really don't need anything else.
Yes, but genuine, it is connected with effort, because it's not just lip service, is it? To say I don't need enough. I can see my own journey, like when I do start feeling more full inside, then you realize you don't really need that because you don't want to waste your time on that, as you said. It's a process. So anyway, one of the questions is also, yes, what is the best practice to being content? Do you have any tips on that?
Just to be grateful for what Baba has given me, what Rama has given me. And I've shared this many times, but that exercise on gratitude. When I really see what Baba has given me, my heart is full, my heart is content. And there's no competition with anyone else, no comparison with anyone else. Baba has given me so much, so much, so much. If I'm looking at things on an external level, somebody's got a bigger center than me, somebody's got more students than me, somebody has more interviews than me. There's many things that can come in. But no, what has Baba given me already? And Baba's talk today about not just virtues and powers, but also Gyan. Every day, Baba gives us a fresh Murli that is so full of inspiration and wisdom and guidance that just each Murli makes me feel very, very content. And so it's important just to count your blessings, to be able to say, Baba, you've given me everything. What more is there that I can ask for? And if I'm using that gyan in my life, then truly everything goes well. Like Baba said, your own effort, your relationships and service, it all falls into place. But the discontent, because I'm not appreciating what Baba has given me and I'm not using it in my life. So I think the appreciation, the recognition, and then using it, that becomes that state of contentment, of fullness.
Yes, this is kind of connected with someone's question. So I'll ask it now. I mean, you've answered it, I think, but if anything extra, not so easy to see what is lacking deep down. What's the method for this?
Spend time in silence in front of Baba and really just go deep enough to be able to answer your question. What is it that is the cause of discontent? What is it that I feel I'm lacking? And once you've been able to identify it, Baba will fill it up for you. Baba will really make you complete. But it's my own ego that's preventing me from seeing what is missing within me. That whole topic about I'm content, I'm fine, I don't need to worry, I'm not involved in anything, so it's okay. All of that is that intellectual talk that, yeah, sure, it's okay, but not really. The heart is discontent. The heart isn't feeling that complete satisfaction. And so important to spend time in silence. I think that when we sit in yoga, there's so many different ways to do yoga. And it's not that there's only one way which is the right way. But when Baba's talking about tapasya, it is giving yourself the time to go deeper and deeper inside so that I truly see myself. And the Murli is the mirror. Check in with the Murli and you'll be able to see what is it that resonates with me and what I need to do.
Yes, gentlemen, and it's connecting the dots, isn't it? So if I'm absorbing the Murli, I have the tools, then I can play with the drama, then I'm happy, content. We don't join the dots often. We don't quite know how to get from there to there. Maybe we can take this question now. So somebody's asking that Baba had mentioned not just knowledge, but knowledgeful. Is there any subtlety to that we should understand?
I know about drama, but do I understand it so deeply that I can say, yes, drama is sweet. No matter what is going on, can I keep that feeling that all is well, drama is good? You can see how the theory of drama and getting to the point of really experiencing the sweetness of drama so that I stay content. Upheaval outside, all around. Baba mentioned this in the Murli. It'll be a time of great upheaval that's coming, but my stage will be stable within that. Baba told me all this is going to happen anyway. What must I do? I must be the one who's going to give peace to all, instead of getting into a tiz and a crisis and thinking, woe is me, what's going to happen today or tomorrow? And so using drama makes me knowledgeful, instead of just having knowledge about drama, but to apply it in my life and see how it works makes me knowledgeable.
And gentlemen, I know we've covered Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar a lot, but today there's quite a few questions. Maybe you can just stick to Shankar because they're asking about Shankar's role, and especially since Brahma comes in Sakar, Vishnu comes into Sakar, but Shankar doesn't. So could you just elaborate on why Baba said what he did?
The original pictures of the Trimurti had Brahma Baba's face as Brahma Baba, as Vishnu, and as Shankar. So some of you might still be seeing those original pictures somewhere or another, but the face is Brahma Baba's face. And so yes, the connection between Brahma and Vishnu, but also Brahma Baba playing that role in which for years and years, Baba sat in tapasya and yes, helping Shiv Baba with world service and touching souls here and there, all that was going on. But essentially, Brahma Baba being in a subtle region, the region that's closest to Shiv Baba, that place is the place of silence, of tapasya. It's the angelic region, yes, but it's also the place where Shankar lives. So Brahma Baba, in the role of Shankar, is the one who's the destroyer of all evil. When they say destroyed the world, that's not quite right, but the one who destroys evil. The third eye opens and I'm able to recognize what it is that's negative. And with drishti, it goes away, it leaves. And we are also, just as we are helpers, the arms of Brahma Baba, helping in the task of establishment, we are also the ones helping Baba with tapasya to be able to transform the world in a flash whenever that right moment comes. But what Baba's been telling us, that the right moment is going to come when all of you together make that intense effort to reach perfection, the third eye completely open, and everyone's collective yoga power, one thought, transformation, and a flash. Things will start moving very fast. The elements will create their state of upheaval. At the moment, they do it from time to time, and they do it one at a time. But imagine the flood is coming, but also there's heat, there's wind, everything is rushing, and you have to be stable. You're Shankar. Your third eye is wide open. You understand exactly what's going on, but you don't bat an eyelid. You are absolutely stable with that state of peace inside of you. And the tapasya, sharing those vibrations of peace with others. And they will be asking you, what is it that you're doing? And you'll tell them, I'm remembering God. And you'll be able to show them the way to go up above, rise above the situation, go up above, come to the subtle region and fly home. So we are very much Baba's helpers in that whole task of the end times, which isn't so far away.
Yes, and also Baba said they will clean. So we were discussing that actually.
Yeah.
It's not just destroy, but clean. So we have to have the attitude that it's being cleaned up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, I'd like to, well, maybe I'll tell a story and then maybe you can comment. And it's the story about Jagdish Bhai. And he's saying that when he used to come to Madhuban, then he was given accommodation opposite Baba's room near where Nirvay Bhai used to stay in Pandu Bhavan. And he said that he would purposely leave his light on at night and sometimes early morning. And Baba would see his light on and then ask one of the dadis to call him. And that he knew that Baba would call him if his light was on. And he, of course, talks in that episode about a very deep, contentment, but also such like being so much in love with Baba. So anyway, what I want to say is this connection that Baba's making between being content and carefree. If you want to comment on that, I mean, it seems obvious to us that, of course, when you are content, you are carefree. But any other connection you want to make with that?
You see, the reason why I'm not carefree is because I have worries. I'm worried about my health. I'm worried about the future. I'm worried about what somebody did. So all these other stray thoughts where I haven't come to terms with the drama, so the past is troubling me, the present is worrisome, the future is full of anxiety. And what happened to my faith? What happened to my contentment? And so I look at the past and I'm able to put a full stop to it. Okay, it happened, but I've realized and I've changed and I've sought forgiveness. And the present, what is there that I need to worry about? Baba's giving me absolutely everything. And then the future, the seeds that I'm sowing today are definitely going to bring a beautiful future. I don't need to worry about that. And so when I've understood drama and I've really put that full stop into practice, then I can be genuinely carefree. Otherwise, it's a superficial thing. And at any moment, something goes a little bit different, pear-shaped, then I begin to worry. But no, I don't need to. I'm content. Everything is happening in the right way and will happen at the right time.
Yes, and I will get what I am supposed to get. Gentlemen, before I move to the chat box, today Baba said happiness in the intellect, not happiness in the heart. So would you like to comment on that, if there's anything we should know?
The way I look at everything, my perspective on everything is with my buddhi, my intellect. So the mind is responding to whatever is going on here, is generating thoughts and feelings. But my buddhi has the capacity to either look at everything from the lens of positivity and joy, or the lens of sorrow and negativity. And most times, look around at the faces of people who are around you. I don't mean intimate family, I mean many others who we know. And you very rarely find a happy, smiling face. And not a smile which is a cosmetic smile, but really a smile of fulfillment. And so that stage where people really don't have that happiness is because their intellect is seeing something wrong, something missing. It's feeling like that. And where my intellect is absolutely positive, filled with gyan, I know that things are not as I would have wanted them to be, but they came as a lesson to teach me many things. I don't need to think about anything else. I just need to be with Baba and be absolutely positive. Drama is carrying me to my destination because I'm moving in synchronicity with drama. And so when I do this, then my intellect is also filled with happiness. Negativity, and it's not just my thoughts and feelings, but my whole face changes. And that negativity stays with me for days and days.
Yes, Jenna, that's why we like to ask you, because you always have a different angle. Thank you so much. Okay, so questions in the chat. It's not always easy to be the master and apply a full stop in a second. It still takes a few minutes. So how do you make the break powerful?
Check yourself. Last time when somebody said something and I got upset, maybe it took me hours to get out of that. Today, does it still take me hours and hours? Or am I now at the point where I can catch my thoughts and see very quickly which thought is going in which direction? And from experience of checking myself, I know that this particular thought is going to lead into a tunnel of darkness. Done. Been there enough. I don't want to go there again. And yet another thought is going to be such that it lifts me upwards and I'm going to be able to fly. So to keep the intellect open and to be very aware that it's my choice how I see things and what I choose to do now. So don't let circumstances take you over, but be the master of circumstances by being the master of your life and your actions.
And Genuine Baba talked about the flu of feelings and how the flu makes us very weak. So actually, there's somebody who's saying that they don't like going to their center because of the behavior of their instrument. So is it okay to stay at home and just remember Baba? Because I did ask what is the question, and basically the question is, should I stay at home and remember Baba or go to the center despite all that?
I would recommend go to the center in spite of what has happened, because Baba's often mentioned, especially in recent Murlis, if you want to be threaded in the rosary of victory, then you have to be part of that circle of the beads. I can't be a bead alone on here by the side and say, hey, I'm here. I'm also here in Satyug. No, if you're in Satyug, then be part of the rosary. Even in the Silver Age, it'll still be a rosary, the bond of love that holds us together. And if I'm having trouble with the family, it's time to explore that within myself and say, what is it that's troubling me? Is it my jealousy? Maybe I want to be on the gadi and not let them be on the gadi. What is it that I dislike? And is it something that Baba has said is okay to dislike? Is it something else? So let me explore on the basis of the Murlis, whatever it is that's going on, and that'll give me a very clear picture of what I need to do. But I would never recommend stay away from the family, because that too becomes a habit. And you then get into that state of isolation where you're cutting yourself up from everyone. Mostly now you don't have Lokik contacts or friends. You visit your parents maybe from time to time, but you don't naturally say, oh, I've got Sunday afternoon free. I'm going to have coffee with my niece or whatever. Sometimes people do, but it's very important to stay connected with the Lokik family, but also stay connected with the spiritual family. The spiritual family is your mirror. You'll be able to see how far you've come and how much further you need to go with the help of the family, not just on your own.
Jayantiben, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I was kicked out and I've come back. So actually I've missed questions, but there was another question about, oh, here they are. There was a question about revealing Baba, when Baba said, anyway, the question about what are your thoughts of methods to get the world to recognize God?
Definitely through our own behavior. The more they see us peaceful, stable, happy, calm, in a state of total breakdown, the more they'll come to feel that, if not ask you, but they will feel that you have something that they don't. And this is the door that's opening for you to serve them, so that you make them aware that, yes, there is that relationship with the divine, but there's so many other things that we have to do to prepare ourselves.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. And then somebody's asking, so if somebody leaves the body and they're young, they take a birth and they're a young child, and then destruction takes place, so does that mean that their status and their destiny was fixed in that previous birth?
If you're talking about the Brahmin family, yes, definitely. It's my conscious birth now as a Brahmin, and it's consciousness that determines me to be a Brahmin. So in that consciousness as a Brahmin, I now have been given a little bit of extra time. And so how am I going to be able to use that? What did I do in my previous birth? The child doesn't know. But what can I do now? Maybe they have that thought and they experience God's love, but the real effort happened before. It doesn't happen in the child's birth now. As you become an adult even, sometimes there's been enough time to come into the Brahmin family again. But I think the advanced party souls don't come into the Brahmin family. They continue to do Baba's work wherever it is, Brahma sends them, so that they can bring souls from that part of that world or tree or branch, wherever, back to Baba in some form or another. But this is the birth for effort.
Thank you, gentlemen. How does the personality of contentment relate to the personality of purity? Question.
Right. Baba spoke about cleanliness in everything, in my mind, in my intellect, in my sanskars, in my chit. And I'm equating cleanliness with purity, that which is completely free from any blemish. Baba called contentment the state in which you are free from all flaws and blemishes. And so that state in which everything is completely clean, that state is a state of purity. Then in that state of purity, yes, I can make sure that I'm receiving and taking and filling and I'm content. So purity is the base, the cleanliness, and then contentment comes on top of that. And so I have to make sure that there is that state of cleanliness totally. If I'm also thinking about contentment in a different way, it's not just a state of no desire, but also no regrets. Cleanliness, and I'm regretting what I've done and haven't settled that karmic account, well, then I need to do something quickly now. But that state of absolute cleanliness and contentment is very much connected with the state of no regrets. Whatever happened, it happened for a lesson. It happened to teach me something.
That's beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, last question. How to cooperate or help a soul who is stuck in victim consciousness and cannot stop blaming others for his emotions?
I think you just have to give them loving, good wishes and hope that drama makes them see that my happiness, my contentment is absolutely in my own hands. It's nothing to do with what somebody else is saying or doing, really.
So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about the lapses in the internet. And we will end with a nice meditation.
Thank you to everyone and to Arunaben. Om Shanti.